Ask yourself this: can success and failure be a measure for judging a human life? In life itself, are success and failure related at all? Questions don't lead us to answers directly. Instead, they lead us to meaningful experiences. The answers you await come through a learning journey, a journey we invite you to undertake with a wise man, a guide, a mentor, and in his approach and responses reflects the wisdom of life. This journey that you undertake now as a learning experience will not educate you, rather, it will fulfill something deeper within you. As you walk unawares into the next moment, allow yourself now to begin awakening and arriving in a world of new possibilities, of learning and discovering, of dying to the old and being born to the new.
For success, most important thing which determines the success is basically embracing change and learning that things around you, within you, keep changing every minute, every millisecond of a minute, and it keeps changing. You know, like in our body, while we are talking, cells are reborn. We are dying every second, millisecond, and we are again taking rebirth every second. I am Bharat, but I am not Bharat. I am Bharat, but I am not Bharat. It keeps changing. Every minute, every second, it's changing. And things change within you as well as things change around you. There are things which are changing, which are not, under your control. And these change are automatic. Like I can't control what I want to. I can't stop breathing on my own and say I will stop breathing for 25 minutes or so. It will start. While I'm talking, my breathing is natural. My heart is functioning natural. Things around you also are changing, but they are not within your control. Like somebody is designing a website, somebody is coming out with a new technology. I can't tell him and stop, don't. And I can't even tell him that I am not going to embrace. See, today like I am using Facebook, Twitter, if I don't accept, things like that, technology, I'm out. There are so many organizations who have failed only because they have not thought about change which is happening around. They have not visualized, they have not realized, and that's how they have failed. Saying that, being resistant to change, that's the most common thing which happens within individuals, within companies as well. And people think that whatever they are doing is right. But it may not be true always. For example, Kodak, one of the best leaders in the photography industry, they were lost because digitalization came in and Japanese took over. Same thing happens for the watches as well. Swiss watches were considered to be the best watches around the world, but then Seiko came in and it washed the market. So there are technologies which change, there are things which change, and it is nature which changes. So you have to keep adapting to the change. If you don't adapt to the change, you are a loser finally. So what I tell people is that change, flow along with the change or perish. As simple as that. See, what a person has to do basically to embrace change is to first understand what things are changing around him. He has to realize and it is again part of awareness, saying, okay, these are the things which are changing around me. It could be a product, it could be your service, it could be your ideas, it could be anything which you are doing, right? So one of the greatest writer on future, Alvin Toffler, he said three things basically. He said learn, which we all do, but he said additional two things, which is relearn. And the most important thing which he said is unlearn what you have learned. And that's a triangle which he formed, saying you keep doing that. Learn, relearn and unlearn. And if you keep doing that, you are embracing change, and therefore you are able to survive in this world with technology, with changes around you. So that's the first thing one has to do. Otherwise perish. I can give you my example. I adapt to change by reading, observing things, listening things, and then practicing things. So these are the four mantras which I have followed. Read, observe, listen, and practice. So these four, if you follow, I think you can adapt to change in a very simple manner. When things change, for example, when we started our career in the world, we had a machine for calculating plus minus, is like an arithmetic machine or facet machine. Okay. Then technology came and we had calculators. Then we had Excel, which is used commonly nowadays. And I kept adapting to the changes as and when it came. I survived in my job in the corporate world only because of my adapting to the changes which were there in the corporate world itself. One of the thing was changing was technology. There were a lot of softwares which are coming in every day, every now. We had to adopt. There was Excel, and we survived because of Excel skills. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that whatever is required. For example, there is a person who is using a camera which is a very old camera with a film camera. Those things are gone. You have to use new technology. Though you may be very good in camera, photography and all, but you have to embrace the new technology by saying, okay, I'm going to use a digital camera, learn how to do that. There are things which are happening in the world. So you have to keep learning about the things, relearn, saying that, okay, my technology, my style was wrong. I have to study this new style, new technology, new frontiers, and therefore I have to change. I have met so many people in my life, in my corporate world. I keep meeting them, and I've seen people are stuck because they constantly feel what they do is right. All over these years they have been doing it, and therefore it is right. But then they also have realized, looking at other people, saying, okay, why am I not being able to do what other people are doing? For example, this guy is a very senior friend who came to me, who again happens to be a photographer, and he was using old cameras and old technology, and whenever he goes, he's not getting any shooting orders now because the technology is gone. He doesn't know how to use digital cameras, and he has a big problem in life. He said he thought he is one of the best photographers at that point of time, but then what is he doing now? Nothing. Everybody is using digital cameras, everybody is using technology to their extent, like computers and other things. He doesn't even use computers. There are chartered accountants who have failed in their practice, in their office. They are using manual systems in the old days. They have to use technology by using Tally softwares and other softwares. There are doctors who have to keep learning about new technology of doing operations, digital operations, and so even if he's a doctor, he's a chartered accountant, he's an engineer, he's a photographer, it applies to every guy. It applies to a child also. We keep learning. If when a child is born, he starts getting up and he falls, again he gets up, he falls, and he starts learning and embracing things changing around him. He starts learning how to stand. Okay, same thing applies. But then when you become a little older, you learn about the world, you think that you know everything, and you stop realizing that things are changing around you, and therefore I don't need change. But resistance to change again is a big problem. So the moment you realize that yes, I need to change, I need to be successful, I need to adopt things, start doing it. When I say read, observe, listen and practice is that these four things which are four pillars of adapting change. In today's world, you have access to knowledge which was not available in the past, in the ancient days. Today you have Google, today you have lots of information, and there is information overflow in fact. So it's important for you to basically go through the knowledge which you want to acquire and keep reading about it. Whatever field you are, whatever field you want to be in success, whether you want to do HR, whether you want to be in finance or marketing or photography or whatever, and you have so much of knowledge around outside world which is available free, it's actually free, and you do that. So you keep reading about it, and once you read, come back on the drawing board and say that, okay, whatever I have learned, let me unlearn this thing and start a new thing by doing the same thing with a new way of looking at things. So you start relearning the same thing, and keep practicing that same thing. If you don't practice again, you lose on that, and that cycle has to follow. When I talk about listening, it's also important to listen to others saying that, you should not be thinking that you know everything, okay? You can go as a child, you can go as a student and still learn from others, because there is lots of things to learn from others. Outside world has got so many things to learn. So put your ego aside, very simple, though you may be an expert in your field, but you will learn something from, because every person has to give something to you. That's what I believe, that every person will give you something. So learn, and you listen, go to various seminars, management development programs, go to various courses and keep learning. At this age, I keep learning. I keep doing various courses and I never stop. The moment you stop, you're dead. That's what I believe. Moment you stop, you're finished. And learning should be like, till the end. And that's why I keep saying, if you don't change, perish.